Good morning, YouTube. Scott Lett here, owner of Iron City Power Washing. Hope you guys are doing well. It is Friday. We have 4 jobs today. I'm going to knock out 2. My business partner will knock out 2, and then we'll call it a day. But this morning we are actually headed to meet with our accountant to discuss some payroll options for 2022. We're running out of time for this year to get everything prepped, so we're just trying to get as much done before the new year. We just found out that we landed a $30,000 parking garage in Montgomery, which is about an hour and a half away. We'll be starting that first of the year. Great way to start the year. And there's a possibility we'll be starting a $50,000 job that month too. So we're probably gonna need some help from some guys in the area that are local washers to subcontract, come beside us and knock these jobs out. So but we'll get there when that time comes. But anyways, what I want to talk about this morning is something that I've touched on in the past, and I want to revisit plus add something else to it. So we've talked about client acquisition, which is you strategizing a marketing plan to get hot leads, right? Whether it's your website, your Google My Business, your Facebook, your digital marketing plan, yard signs, word of mouth, flyers, cold calls, whatever your marketing plan is. Hopefully it's all of those things. That is a whole marketing plan that's very similar to what we have. So when you get a marketing plan set into place and you get these hot leads and you convert those into clients, that is client acquisition. You go perform the job for them, and then we move into the the retention part, which is all you guys. And I've told guys in the past, if you do a job for someone and you never hear from them again, knowing that you did a good job for them, that's not their fault, that's yours. Because it's up to you to keep in touch with that customer, through an email drip or just calling saying, hey, we did a job for you a few months ago. Is there anything we can do for you now or in the months to come? That is client retention. Just letting them know that, hey, I'm still here. You may have lost my card, you may have forgotten our company name, but we're the guys who came out and cleaned your property and made you extremely happy, and we want to keep you as a customer. That is client retention. So client acquisition and client retention, gaining new customers and keeping them, is how you build a book of business. So one thing that I really want to talk about today is I've been asked before, do you fire clients? Meaning I acquire them as a client, I do retain them for a while, eventually something may happen along the way, or even as you just acquire them for the first time, that makes you no longer want to work with them. There are a few things that we at Iron City Power Washing, we don't really put up with, if you want to say, and we have a lot of tolerance for customers. When you're serving very wealthy areas like we serve, you're going to come across a few Karens, a few Darens, if you will. There's going to be people out there who are just not very pleasant to work with. One, because they see your service as just spraying water. They don't understand all of the different ratios of chemicals, having the proper equipment, knowing how to clean a roof, the expenses, the expertise, and knowing how to protect a property as you're cleaning a property. Just knowing what you're doing, guys. And we all know that takes time. And as you grow, your price should go up. Like our minimum is at $250 right now. Next year, we're going to bump it up to $350. And if our client, or someone reaches out, the hot lead reaches out to us, and we provide an estimate, and they can't pay us $350 for our time, then they can go be someone else's client. And that's where we're at. I don't recommend that for you newer guys. You should be trying to get as many clients as you can, as many jobs as you can, but not lowballing yourself. We can talk about pricing another time. But so when do I fire clients? One is if they're just rude, and just talk down to us, which happens. They just see us as power washing guys in the service industry. And that's one. If you're going to talk down to us, tell us how to do our jobs, just kind of tear us down, as individuals, we won't respond. That's plain and simple. Or one way to kind of get out of that situation is if you sense that at an estimate, throw a really, really high price out there to the point where they're not going to call you, so you don't have to worry about it. That's one way to kind of disengage from that situation. If it's a current client and we've done a job for them before and we come back out and their whole demeanor's changed, and we don't just get, we're not snowflakes. We'll try to work through it, but there's just some people out there that you can't make happy. There's people out there who are just, that's how they are. They just treat people that way in the service industry, and you're going to come across that, and you just have to grow thick skin and realize that people have bad days, and we get that. And if it's a one-time thing, no big deal. But if it's just a reoccurring, like just disrespect, we're no longer going to work with you. We're not going to put up with that. I would rather, and that's what I love about having your own business. You get to pick and choose your customers, right? And there's a certain niche of people that we're after. If someone comes out and is constantly just trying to question your process and not listening to your process and telling you, this is how you need to do things. No, these are the older men, no offense to the older guys who watch this channel. It's the men who have, been around the block. They're the boomers. They think they know how to do everything because they're older. But their wife called you to come out and they're not happy that you're there. They're upset that you're even on their property trying to attempt something that they should be doing. And they're just trying to tell you how to do your job, telling you that you shouldn't do this, shouldn't do that. And if that happens, I'll just say, hey, with all due respect, sir, I have a certain process. I have a professional way of doing things. This is how we do things. And if you're not going to allow me to do the job in the way I do things, then I can't work with you, and I'll just leave. Very, very respectful. So listen, guys, when I'm in these situations, I'm not shooting back at them. I'm just keeping my cool. Say, hey, I'm going to pass on this job, or I'm going to let someone else in the area have this. And we're 5 years into this thing, so we can do this. But if I sense just very heavy disrespect, someone who's just speaking down to us, just treating us like crap, or someone trying to tell us how to do our job, not listening to our process, I will fire them. I will not work with them. And then the third thing and last thing is our pricing, right? We have gone up in our pricing just because we're so busy. We're doing a lot of commercial work now. For us to leave these commercial sites and go do a residential job, it has to be worth our time. Plus, there's two of us. I have a partner. So there's two families to support in this business. So prices got to go up, right? We do good work. We got about $100,000 in equipment. We know what we're doing. We do a good job. We don't have hardly any callbacks. I think we've had one or two all year. Nothing big, nothing upset. Just miscommunications. This happens too, guys. You go do an estimate. The husband comes out. This is what my wife wants done. You go do the job. The wife comes out, and after you left the job site, oh, he didn't do this section, and then the husband blames it on you, and y'all didn't even talk about that. That happens. So just anticipate things like this to happen, guys. So that's why when I go out, I encourage you guys to do this. Get like an estimate or an invoice sheet and write down everything that you're cleaning, and then show them. And I'll do that. I'll write this down and show the wife that her husband signed this sheet of paper. And if I'm questioned, look, he signed this. This is what we talked about. And that usually gets me in the clear. Back to pricing. So if me and a customer, this happened like literally 2 weeks ago. A customer of mine, it was one of my handyman clients. She called me to come out and do some washing for her, and then I did a couple handyman projects. Well, I told her, like, we have a minimum now of $250. and that's going to be a job that's going to meet our minimum, right? And she said, that's fine. And we showed up there, performed the work, and she said, so how much is it going to be? I said, you know, like we discussed our minimum. She goes, oh, I thought you were kidding. She said, that's pretty steep. I said, well, that's our minimum. Like, we literally washed her house, changed out her smoke alarm batteries, and then replaced a piece of trim on her house, which you got to have like professional wood glue. You know, we used chemicals, we had used gas to drive out there. So 40 bucks wouldn't have even covered our expenses. So we're in this business to profit and make money. And I didn't argue with her. I took the money and just left. I was just kind of over it. And she asked me like a couple weeks ago or a week ago, she texted me and said, hey, do you clean windows? I said, no, ma'am. So I think I got the point across. She ended up sending 40 more bucks in the mail. She sensed that I was a little upset about it, but still, I mean, that's only 80 bucks. We asked for 250. So she eventually called me and she said, hey, like, is everything all right? I was honest with her. I just said, hey, look, you know, me and you discussed 250. We came out and spent about an hour and a half at your house, performing a job, and you paid us 80 bucks. You know, we agreed to 250. I can no longer, you know, work with you. And she said she was a little upset. She's, I can't believe that this happened. You've always done a great job for me. I said, yes, ma'am. You know, like, this is a growing business. I have a business partner. We have expenses, 2 families to support. And we did a lot of work at your house, and 250 is, our minimum. And not only that, we agreed on that on the phone. And then you gave me 80 bucks. So with that being said, you know, if you can't afford our prices, then you just have to find someone else. And she said, fair enough. And that was that. It was a very professional conversation, very level-headed, no emotions, like, but I think she'll end up calling us and paying our prices because she can't do it. Her husband can't do it. She doesn't really trust anybody. I've built a lot of trust with this lady, and I think that she'll end up calling me and wanting our services in the future. But if you want our services, you're going to have to pay our prices. So yeah, guys, client acquisition is important, retention is important, and guys, you know, don't go get sensitive and get your feelings hurt, be up all in your feelings with customers, but also don't be a doormat. Don't get run over. Stick to your prices. Don't let people lowball you. Just do the best you can, all right? Just keep your feelings at home, but stay professional. Don't get emotional, but you don't have to work with everybody. The customer is not always right. And you are the expert that they're hiring. If they're not willing to listen to your process and listen to you, don't work with them. Sorry about Scott that. Had a call. But anyways, I hope this video was encouraging to you. Just do the best you can. Stay professional. Treat people right, and you'll go a long way. Scott led Iron City Power Washing.